Pythagorean theorem, question number 3. So our question says, a right-angled triangle has a base of 1,000 centimeters and an area of 60 meters squared. Determine the perimeter of the triangle. And then it says, round your final answer to 2 decimal places where appropriate, which tells me I'm probably going to get a decimal as my answer. So I'm going to start by just identifying any important information. So it does say that it is a right-angled triangle, that it has a base of 1,000 centimeters, and that the area is 60 meters squared. And we are trying to find the perimeter. So I'm going to start by drawing a picture of a right-angled triangle. It says the base, or the bottom, is 1,000 centimeters. And then it tells me the area is 60 meters squared. So the first thing that I notice is that the units don't match, and that's a bit of an issue. So what I want to do is either convert the centimeters into meters or the meters into centimeters. It is easier to convert a non-squared unit like centimeters than it is to convert a squared unit like meters squared. So I'm going to try to convert 1,000 centimeters into meters. So I'm going to use my conversion sheet here. So if I'm doing 1,000 centimeters into meters, we are going from centimeters to meters, which is 2 steps up. Now, when I'm moving up, we move our decimal place to the left. So I'm going to move the decimal 2 spots to the left. So if I take 1,000, the decimal point starts at the very end, and then we're going to move 2 spots to the left, which is going to give me 10.00, or just 10 meters. So now that my units match, I think I'm ready to tackle the actual question. So it says, determine the perimeter of the triangle. Now, perimeter is the distance around the outside of the triangle. And there are 1, 2, 3 sides. So we would find the perimeter by adding those 3 sides together. However, I only know one of the 3 sides. So that's going to be a little tricky. Now, they did tell me the area, and I am going to use my formula sheet as reference. This is a triangle, so perimeter is a plus b plus c, but the area, I have a choice, is either base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 times base times height. I like the base times height divided by 2. So if they told me what the area is, and I know what the base is, I might be able to use this formula to help me figure out the height. So I'm going to start with the area. I'm going to say area is base times height divided by 2. Now in my picture, this would be the base, right? If I try to match it with the diagram of the triangle on my formula sheet, the base and the height always meet at 90 degrees. So this is the base. This part's going to be the height, and we'll go from there. So area, I know that's 60, is base, that's 10. We're not using that 1,000 anymore. We're only using the 10 times height. I don't know what the height is. And then divided by 2. So I would like to solve for h, which means I'm going to need to do something with that 10 and that 2. And I have 2 choices. Option 1, I could divide 10 by 2 to get 5. So 60 equals 5h. Or I could get rid of a divide by 2 by multiplying by 2 and then deal with that 10. So it really is just preference, whatever you are most interested in. It's up to you, whatever makes more sense to you. So I think I might divide 10 by 2 to get 5h, and then divide both sides by 5 in order to solve for h. 60 divided by 5, I'm pretty sure is 12. Yes, it is. So 12 centimeters is my height. So this side here is 12, oops, it's not centimeters, it's meters. Sorry about that. So that side there is 12 meters. So I have 10 meters and 12 meters. But in order to do perimeter, I need 1, 2, 3. So I need all 3 sides. Now, I do notice it's a right angle triangle. They told us that in the question, which means I should be able to use Pythagorean theorem to find my third side. So the hypotenuse is always the one across from the right angle. I'm going to call that C. This is already the base, so I'm going to leave that as B, and then I think I'm going to call this side A. So for the Pythagorean theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So my A is 12, so 12 squared, plus my B, which is 10 squared, equals C. I'm going to just maybe leave that as C squared. 12 times 12 is 144. 10 times 10 is 100. And that equals C squared. 144 plus 100 should be 244. That equals C squared. And then I am going to cancel out the square by taking the square root. So the square root of 244 is 156.62. I take a little peek at that next number. It's a 0. So if it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we leave it alone. So it's going to say 15.62. So this is 15.62 meters. That is side C, and I rounded, so I'm going to put a little dot over my equal sign. So I now know that this is 15.62 meters. So now to find the perimeter, all I have to do is add my three sides together. So the formula on our formula sheet for perimeter is A plus B plus C. And that's not to be confused with the lettering for Pythagorean theorem. Really, A, B, and C are just the first three letters of the alphabet that they assign to just be the three outside sides. So I'm going to add 12 and 15.62 and 10. So 12 plus 15.62 plus 10 gives me 37.62 meters. Now, since this was a lot of steps in calculation, it's always a good idea to draw a box around your final answer. And really, you should try to just write a little sentence to answer the question. So it said, determine the perimeter of the triangle. I'm going to say the perimeter is 37.62 meters.